Jai Gaur Premanandi. So, reading from the abridged version of Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada, he built a house in which the whole world can live. Abhay was 56 and he thought that he must now begin very seriously manifesting the orders of his spiritual master. As he told one of the men in Jhansi, the whole world is waiting, Mr. Mitra, for spiritual revolution. Since his spiritual master's institution, the Gaudiya Math had become ineffectual due to fights and permanent factions, he attempted to start a movement of devotees with worldwide activities. Although he had only one or two active helpers, he obtained the use of an abandoned temple and began working toward what he envisioned as a kind of spiritual United Nations. He wrote a charter and legally registered his movement as the League of Devotees. But while absorbed in these affairs, one day Abhay received a telegram. Shishikhoranitaya Mayapur Sashiki. One day Abhay received a telegram that his business in Allahabad had been burglarized. His servants had stolen his money, medicine, and anything else of value. On reading the news, he was silent, but then laughed and uttered the Bhagavatam verse. Krishna's mercy was to crush the material success of a sincere devotee. When one of Abhay's Jhansi friends advised him to return to Allahabad, he replied, "No, this is good for me. First, I was sad to see this, but I can see that one great attachment has come to an end, and my life is now fully surrendered and dedicated to Sri Sri Radha Krishna." On a visit to his family in Calcutta, Abhay made the final break from his family responsibilities. He still had a small business there, and he had gone to try and raise funds for his missionary work in Jhansi. But inevitably, he was plunged again into family responsibilities. Some of his children were still unmarried, rent and bills had to be paid. Even if he were to develop his Calcutta medical shop, the family would demand whatever he earned. And even if he were to accede to his family's demands and live at home, the greatest difficulty would still remain. They weren't serious about devotional service. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Okay, reading from Granth Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayatu Dhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. Could you pass the phone please on the chair behind you? Maybe I can go through the shloka from my phone. Thank you, bro. So, today being a very auspicious day, we study Srimad Bhagavatam and we study the glories of Lord Shiva in Srimad Bhagavatam. So being Shiva, study the glories of Shiva as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shivratri is Shiva is the name of Lord Shiva, which means all auspicious. Uh, like we come to the temple in the morning and attend the Mangal Aarti rites. So Mangal is like auspicious. So Lord Shiva, all auspicious. Ratri is night. So Shivratri is like can say the night of all auspiciousness, or and the Mother Parvati once asked Lord Shiva, which day is kind of is more close to you, which day do you like kind of, and Lord Shiva said like this particular night. So Shivratri, this particular night, and this is the night when Lord Shiva and Parvati they got married. And devotees worldwide, those who worship Lord Shiva, they would offer him water, milk, and a particular leaf, and try to chant his glories. So we study this particular episode. There are quite a few sections in Srimad Bhagavatam which glorifies Lord Shiva, where Lord Shiva engages himself in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. This particular is Canto 8, Chapter 7, Text 33. The chapter is entitled Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. Fascinating pastime. So we go into text 33, and maybe here I will try to dare to perhaps attempt taking the sloga in Brahma Samhita meter. I'm not sure how would it fit, but we can try. Ye tva atma rama gurubhir hridhi chintitangri. ये त्व आत्मरामगुरुभिहृदि चिन्तिताङ्घ्रि द्वन्द्वं चरन्तम् उमया तपसा भितप्तम् द्वन्द्वं चरन्तम् उमया तपसा भितप्तम् कथन्त उग्र परुषं निरतं स्मशाने कथन्त उग्र परुषं निरतं स्मशाने ते नूनम् उतिम अविदंस तव हात लज्जा ते नूनमुत्तिमविदं स्तव हात लज्जा ये त्व आत्मराम गुरुभिहृदि चिन्तिताङ्घ्रि द्वन्द्वं चरन्तमुमया तपसा भितप्तम् कथन्त उग्रपरुषं निरतं स्मशाने ते नूनमूर्तिमविदं स्तव हातलज्जा ये त्व आत्मरामगुरुभिहृदि चिन्तिताङ्घ्रि द्वन्द्वं चरन्तमुमया तपसा भितप्तम् कथन्त उग्रपरुषं निरतं स्मशाने ते नूनमूर्तिमविदं स्तव हातलज्जा Please chant.
Yetvatmaramagurubirhridichintitamgri
Yatva Atma Rama Guru Bhiridi Chintintangri
Vandvam charantam umaya tapasabhitaptam
Dvandvam Charantamumaya Tapasabhitaptam
Ratanta ugraparusham niratam smashani
Kathanta Ugra Parusam Niratam Smasane
Devunam buddhim avidam stavahata
Te Nunamutim Avidam Stavahata Laja. Mataji, please chant. Yatva Atma Rama Guru Bhiridi Chintindangri Dvandvam Charantamumaya Tapasabhitaptam Kathanta Ugra Parusam Niratam Smasane Te Nunamutim Avidam Stavahata Laja. Ye persons who do indeed Atma Rama Gurubhi by those who are self-satisfied and who are considered to be spiritual masters of the world. Riddhi, within the heart. Chintita Angri Dvandvam, thinking of your two lotus feet. Charantam, moving. Umaya, with your consort Uma. Tapasabhitaptam, highly advanced through practice of austerity and penance. Kathante, criticize your acts. Ugra Parusam, not a gentle person. Niratam, always. Smashane, in the crematorium. Te, such persons. Nunam, indeed. Uttim, such activities. Avidan, not knowing. Tava, your activities. Hatha Lajja, shameless. Translation. Exalted, self-satisfied persons who preach to the entire world think of your lotus feet constantly within their hearts. However, when persons who do not know your austerity see you moving with Uma, they misunderstand you to be lusty. Or when they see you wandering in the crematorium, they mistakenly think that you are ferocious and envious. Certainly, they are shameless. They cannot understand your activities. Please respond in the translation. Exalted, self-satisfied persons who preach to the entire world think of your lotus feet constantly within their hearts. However, when persons who do not know your austerity see you moving with Uma, they misunderstand you to be lusty. Or when they see you wandering in the crematorium, they mistakenly think that you are ferocious and envious. Certainly, they are shameless. They cannot understand your activities. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnava nam yatha Shambhu. It is therefore said, Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Vigyena Bujai. Even the most intelligent person cannot understand what a Vaishnava like Lord Shiva is doing. or how he is acting. Those who are conquered by lusty desires and anger cannot estimate the glories of Lord Shiva, whose position is always transcendental. In all the activities associated with lusty desires, Lord Shiva is an implement of Atma Rama. Ordinary persons, therefore, should not try to understand Lord Shiva and his activities. One who tries to criticize the activities of Lord Shiva is shameless. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योग शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Feel quite humbled to speak anything on Srimad Bhagavatam, but it is the kindness of devotees, Raghunath Prabhu's kindness. So we'll make an attempt, and by your blessings, hopefully we all take inspiration, especially in the glorification of pure devotee of Lord Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the last chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, so there are 335 chapters. So the last chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of devotional service. It is mentioned, Nimna Nam Yatha Ganga, Devo Nam Achyuto Yatha, Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu, Purana Nam Idam Tatha. So Nimna Nam Yatha Ganga, of all rivers flowing into the sea, Ganges, Ganga is the greatest. Nimna Nam Yatha Ganga. Deva Nam Achyuto Yatha. Of all the gods, of all the demigods, say Krishna, the infallible supreme personality of Godhead, is the supreme. Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. Of all devotees of all Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava, constantly meditating, constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna. Purana Nam Idam Tatha. Of all Puranas, of all Itihasas, all Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Puran, the topmost Puran. So, this is a position of Lord Shiva, the exalted transcendental personality. We try to understand a bit more. As it says in the very beginning in the purport, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigena Bhujai. So the activities, the workings of a Vaishnava for a common man or even say someone who is religious or pious, he just cannot figure it out, cannot make it out. And one should not as well. This is why the thing is one should not try applying one's conditioned material mind and intelligence in trying to understand the activities of a Vaishnava. One will come to a conclusion of false only. Because in our conditioned state, we are so prone and easy to fault finding. We can easily pick up on others. And when we see a Vaishnava, an exalted personality, a realized souls and their activities, we wouldn't be able to make out of it, and we'll think all like this is dogmatic, and we'll have some blasphemous attitude and thoughts within ourselves. At the same time, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to understand, or we shouldn't associate with them, or we shouldn't take guidance or instructions or learnings or teachings from them. We should sit close to them. We should give our due attention, and kind of we should be in the close vicinity company, and try to take the teachings and instructions from them and see. So such is the personality Lord Shiva. So this there are places like in Srimad Bhagavatam where Lord Shiva we can see his glories in fourth canto, sixth canto, this particular eighth canto. So we'll try to kind of come through this pastime and come to this stage like what is being called in here. So in this particular pastime, Lord Shiva saves the universe by drinking poison. So what happens is um, there was a fight between the demons and the demigods, and finally a truce, a pact, an agreement, a treaty was signed off. And Lord Vishnu said, okay, there will be nectar coming from the ocean. But in order for us to access the nectar, both the parties, demigods and demons, have to cooperate and come together and work. So then Lord Vishnu, Krishna in the form of Ajita, so the demigods and demons come and they invoke the serpent, celestial serpent Vasuki as well to help access the nectar from the ocean. And Mandara mountain is brought down. So Mandara mountain is laid down in the ocean, a big mountain, huge mountain, and Lord Vishnu and demigods and the serpent Vasuki is brought in, and the serpent Vasuki is coiled around or wrapped around the mountain. Uh, and Lord Vishnu and the demigods, they take everyone takes position. So Lord Vishnu and the demigods, they take position. They come to the snake's face, kind of at the front of the snake, and hold the snake's face and his fangs and all. And the demigods, they see, okay, what's going on, and the demigods become a bit infuriated, become angry. Sorry, demons. The demons, seeing this, where Lord Vishnu and demigods are standing and what position they are taking, the demons become angry. And why the demons? Because of the egoistic attitude, they think, okay, now look again the cunningness of Vishnu. The cunningness of Vishnu, he thinks he's too smart, or demigods, they are too smart and we are low, and we do not have the right mindset or the capability, or we are not pious or austere enough, and we do not understand morality. Look, are we some sort of cheap? He has put us right at the back. Who would hold the tail of a snake? No. We would want to go and come to the front and hold um, his, uh, his mouth, his fangs, where poison is there. And Krishna knew this, Lord Vishnu knew this, that this is the demoniac mentality. Tell them to do anything good, there is going to be argument. There is going to be argument. And argumentative mentality is a very low level of mentality. And in Vaishnava etiquette, aspiring devotees, we should try to refrain from any sort of argumentative mentality. So seeing this, the demons, they as if just stood silent. No, we are not cooperating. We are not doing anything and all. And Lord Vishnu, he could understand. So he said, okay, what is the problem? I think you want to come to the front, and you want to take the lead, right? You want to be in the front and hold the. So they said, yes, okay. So Lord Vishnu arranged, okay, come to the front, hold the fangs of the snake, and we go to the end and hold the snake's tail. So this is where like ordinary personalities also, when we see some of the activities of Lord Shiva, we try to misinterpret or misjudge and miscalculate. Like in here, demons, they inevitably or very naturally in their conditioned state, they misjudged or miscalculated the activities of Lord Vishnu, what Vishnu was trying to do. Is it any good, wise to come to face the snake face to face and hold its fang? That would more irritate the snake. Okay, so demons, they came then to the front, and the demigods went to the back, and they were holding the tail. One were holding, the demons were holding the front, and they were trying to churn the mountain. churn the mountain to get nectar out of the oceans, from the oceans. The mountain was laid on the ocean. And as it was going on continuously, both parties were trying very hard, but nothing seemed to be working. And at one point, the mountain actually fell into the bed of the ocean. And they both parties were very frustrated. So Vishnu went into the bed of the ocean. He carried the mountain in the form of a tortoise. He carried the mountain and he held the mountain on his back. And again, he built the confidence. He gave the motivation and the confidence and encouragement to the demigods and the demons, and he asks them to continue to resume churning the ocean, and there will be nectar coming out of it. And as they again continued, resumed churning the ocean, hmm, uh, what first came out is a halahal poison. Complete pure poison came out, halahal poison. And seeing this poison, everyone got very frenzied, everyone got very again upset, and everyone got very disturbed and confused what to do. Also, like us aspiring devotees, when we chant also, there comes a point in time, some perhaps soon, and the sooner it comes and the sooner it is realized, it is good also, that okay, now I'm trying to become a devotee, now I'm trying to chant the holy names of Krishna, now I'm trying to focus and I'm trying to make good lifestyle changes within myself, I'm trying to discipline and schedule myself. But why is it that so much of poisonous thoughts, so much of anti Krishna conscious thoughts, so much of negative ill thoughts and all are coming? So when we churn as well, try to churn the nectar of love in our heart towards Krishna. And there's lots of impurities come about. Lots of impurities come about. Just as in, like if a room is closed and not been looked, not been opened for a long, long time, and if someone goes into that room and tries to clean the room, lots and lots of dirt would come about from all the places. Likewise, for us aspiring practicing devotees, before coming into Krishna consciousness, we were not aware of the transcendental science, the transcendental practice, the transcendental philosophy, the transcendental lifestyle. So, as such, we never cared sincerely to clean the chambers of our heart. And now that when we start cleaning, lots of dust come about. So huge amount of poison to devastate the world, halal poison, came out from that churning, and everyone backed off. And this is when demigods they approached Lord Shiva, headed by Lord Brahma. They went to the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and they glorified Lord Shiva. So a series of verses again they sang a stuti for the glorification of Lord Shiva. Also, this is how our approach in life also should be. When we approach a Vaishnava, practicing Vaishnava, a saint, a sage, and all, how actually we should approach them. It should not be like, okay, straight away we go in and, oh, can you help me? I need this. Can you give me this? Or can you tell me this and that? No. The culture, the etiquette is they glorified Lord Shiva, and which is natural as well. Anyone who would have the direct darshan of Lord Shiva, what to speak of their fortunes, and someone having the direct darshan of Lord Shiva can see how he is in trance, how he is in complete samadhi, how he is completely in bliss, and one would do nothing but glorify. So demigods they glorified Lord Shiva, and they requested Lord Shiva that it is none but you, only you can help us out from this great danger. Shishikora Nitai Mayapur Sashiki. So they requested Lord Shiva to help them out from this great danger which has come about, and requested Lord Shiva to bring the poison. And Lord Shiva was in Mount Kailash, his abode with his consort Uma, Mother Parvati. And Lord Shiva looked at his consort, his wife Uma, Mother Parvati, and he kind of took consent or spoke with her, or in a way kind of, it was a natural say discussion, or told her that this has come about, and I would want to go out and help the in this need of crisis, in this need of our help, the restoration of the universe, and I would go about and take this poison, for the ultimate benefit, so that demigods, demons, everyone could be pacified, could be the ground could be created for everyone to progress in the spiritual journey, in the spiritual path, for the attainment of the highest enlightenment, for taking the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And Parvati, Mother Parvati, being the wife of Lord Shiva, she was fully aware of the glories of Lord Shiva, and herself being the mother of the universe, she said, yes, definitely. And then Lord Shiva went and took all this poison. Now, this is what the activities of Lord Shiva. So he had all this poison, and one of the name of Lord Shiva is Neelkant, as we understand Neelkant. Hmm? Neel is blue, and Kant is the throat. So he took all the poison, and he in his palms, and he drank all the poison. And he has this capacity, he has this ability to not swallow the poison as well, and not to give it out as well. So he held the poison in his uh, throat, and he was unaffected by it. He was completely unaffected by it, and for this reason he held this poison. But here comes the problem. We living entities, conditioned beings, problem is we try to act too smart, and we try to deny the authority, or we try to not look into the scriptures or what the shastras say, and we want to please Lord Shiva, but in our own way. So we manufacture or concoct this idea that, okay, Lord Shiva himself also is a bit into poison, or he's a bit into, I mean, these words, they shouldn't really be used, and they do not have any space in the life of a devotee, or especially when glorifying Lord Shiva in Srimad Bhagavatam. But what to do? Such is the state that people think that Lord Shiva is also into drugs. He takes drugs, or he's into alcohol, that such sort of drink intoxication he also takes, and he remains then in his trance. So we as well, like those worshippers of Lord Shiva, they take this opportunity that yes, we'll offer you water as well, milk as well, and all, and we'll offer you some wine, some liquor, and alcohol as well. Or we take this opportunity that being worshippers of Lord Shiva, we also take alcohol, or any consume some sort of drugs. But this certainly doesn't please Lord Shiva and iota. No. Someone who is aspiring to worship Lord Shiva, this is certainly not the way. But out of our foolishness, because we never care into studying scriptures, and we concoct these ideas and all, so we take into such sort of things. And it is not, could be a bit more prevalent in India, but it is not something like which is just in India as well. Even in it is seen in the Western society as well. Like this marathon time, when devotees in Karuna Bhavan, we were distributing books in, and once I was blessed enough to go to Paisley with Mother Vrinda and Father. So they took us to Paisley, and in Paisley we were distributing books, and we came across one aspirant of worshipper of Lord Shiva actually, and they mentioned they had been practicing in some form or shape, I would say. They've been practicing worshipping Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, Lord or Mother Parvati, uh, and and might have gone to India. I'm not sure. And she was local. She was from Paisley or near that area. And as we were speaking and all, I asked her if she looked into much literature or anything. The response was no. and she herself was saying that I told her that come to Karuna Bhavan, visit us in the temple, please. And she said, yes, I will come, but this New Year I'm taking a bit of a resolution. I want to, if not give up my drinking, I want to cut down my drinking and my smoking, and then I will come. So I told her in response, very nice resolution, and I pray that you find full determination in your resolution. And another way of saying could be, why don't you come to Karuna Bhavan and spend some time there, and then maybe you will give up your drinking and smoking. So she said, yes, good thought, and will maybe look into it. And she kindly accepted a copy of Bhagavad Gita and gave some contribution as well. So thing is, such activities, engaging in such activities doesn't at all please Lord Shiva. This is why it's referred in the translation, in the purport and translation as well, that this is a shameful act. And one shouldn't dare to approach, one shouldn't take things to this far and all, because this is very blasphemous and it will give nothing but offensive mentality, will lead us more down into degradation in material existence. This is Lord Shiva's Nilkant, and also his another name is Lord Shiva's is Bhutnath. So he's taken this portfolio, big, massive portfolio, under the workings of, for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. What is the Guna Avatar, the incarnation who is heading this portfolio of the mode of ignorance. So he's looking after Bhutnath. Bhut is like ghostly character, ghostly personalities, spirit, evil personalities, and all. And he's their Lord. He's their Lord, he's their master. And it is him only, Lord Shiva, who could actually pacify, console, tame, discipline, regulate, and elevate such personalities as ghosts, evils, and spirits, and all, and somehow help them progress in the spiritual emancipation, taking into spirituality. But and seeing all these attributes of uncommon attributes of Lord Shiva, many people they come into too quickly come into conclusions or jumping into conclusions that Lord Shiva, he lives like a vagabond, he lives like this, and he's into this sort of eating, drinking, and people would as well. Mother Parvati, she would be pleased if we offer meat to her, and these sort of things. And these are all the real thing behind this motives is all to satisfy one's all senses, to satisfy one's desires in the name of Lord Shiva, in the name of Lord Shiva. So in Bhagavad Gita, we understand very nice thing. Krishna says, yes, astra viddhim utsirjaya, vartate kama karatam, na siddhim avapnoti, na sukham na santim gatim. So one who utsirjaya, one who gives up the instructions of scriptural instructions, and uh, to satisfy his desires, his senses, one who acts whimsically, he attains no happiness in this life, and what to speak of the next. So whimsically, if we take on anything is not good. Just taking on whimsically and all, and not looking into the subject matter of it, or not discussing or looking into Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, authorized scriptures, revealed scriptures with devotees. And this is why we too soon come into such sort of conclusions against a personality like Lord Shiva. And he has taken this massive, again, the responsibility of this portfolio of elevating personalities who are into different various activities which are heavily wrapped around the mode of ignorance, completely clueless. So there has to be someone who would look into them, who would elevate into them. So Prabhupada established this fantastic society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Devotees go out and preach the glories of Krishna. But we preach essentially to humans. We preach essentially to humans. And Also, devotees, when they go out chanting and all, so they give prasadam even to animals as well, and to ants and plants as well. Like the other day, Prabhu Pip and Prabhu Dan and devotees were doing chanting right outside, like outside the temple room in one of the gardens in Karuna Bhavan, and they were trying to elevate or help the consciousness of the plants as well as part of the chanting. So essentially, devotees of International Society from Krishna Consciousness would essentially preach to humans, and who would take this responsibility of preaching to ghostly like personalities? That is the, and only Lord Shiva can do this. And we see when one approaches Lord Shiva or Mother Durga for that matter, Lord Ganesha for that matter, and all, even for material motives. But later on, when someone sincerely approaches and prays to Lord Shiva that please reveal the absolute truth to me. What is the absolute reality? Please unreveal, uncover the curtain, the veil of Maya, the veil of illusion, and tell me what is true for all. Then Lord Shiva, Mother Durga, Lord Ganesha, the demigods, they would point out them to take the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and engage in the service of Lord Krishna. Also, devotees to their classes, we understand, we hear one of the glorious act of Lord Shiva. See, lots of learnings in Shrimad Bhagavatam, every canto, for everyone, someone who is in Brahmacharya ashram or Grahastha ashram or wherever, or in any stage of path of one's life. So see, Lord Shiva, his carrier is bull, Nandi. His carrier is bull Nandi, and Mother Parvati, her carrier is like a tiger. Now, bull and tiger, they are very opposing elements. They cannot be at peace and harmony with each other, seeing each other. But such is the environment in the house of, say, Lord Shiva and the family of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, and the Nandi and the tiger, they are at all peace and harmony. And likewise, everything. So this is how practicing Krishna consciousness, how can we have Krishna in the center of our life, and then we'll see peace and harmony, everything coming through. Only then we'll see peace and harmony coming through. Mahaprabhu also in his pastimes, as he was traveling India, he came to Jharkhand state, a place in India, and very nice forest in there actually. And there Mahaprabhu made the animals chant the holy names of Krishna, made them dance, and whom? Lion and deer, shaking hands, embracing and chanting and glorifying the holy name. So such is also what Lord Shiva does is he takes away the poisonous attitude, the mentality from someone and helps them gradually take into spiritual life in wholesome. Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. So Lord Shiva also in his teaching, in his discussions with Mother Parvati. I will end on this note and maybe take any questions or comments. And Lord Shiva in his discussions with Mother Parvati. So Mother Parvati kind of asks or wants to understand from Lord Shiva on spirituality, the practice, and how to elevate one's consciousness altogether to the highest, topmost level. So Lord Shiva says, Aradhana Nam Sarvesham, Vishnur Aradhanam Param. Of all the Aradhana, of all the forms of worship, Lord Vishnu's Aradhana, Lord Vishnu's worship is the topmost. Tasmat Parataram Devi, Tadyanam Samarchanam. And he tells directly to his wife, like Mother Parvati saying, okay, Vishnu's worship is topmost, but I am Sati, I am completely devout, chaste, loyal, surrendered to serving your lotus feet. So how is it then that am I kind of deviated, or you kindly pave the path for me for my ultimate good? So Lord Shiva says, Tasmat Parataram Devi, Tadyanam Samarchanam, even better than the worship of direct worship of Lord Vishnu, is worshipping those devotees who are Samarchanam, Tadyanam, in relation to Krishna, who are Samarchanam, who are completely devout, sheltered, surrendered at the lotus feet of Vishnu, Narayan, Lord Krishna, serving them. And this is why we say Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, who is completely immersed in the chanting the glories of Lord Ram, in meditating and chanting the glories. Thank you everyone for your patient listening and encouragement. Again, one can barely actually speak on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam or the glories of a pure devotee. Say, and we'll always encounter in our life someone practicing Krishna consciousness, a spiritual practitioner, uh, even if he is not sincere, but if one comes across in the circle of saintly persons, one will become sincere. One will become further more sincere. So one will encounter in one's practice what? That time is short. Time is too short. Time is always short, and we have a long, long way to go. Likewise, time in Srimad Bhagavatam class is always short. Time when doing japa is always short. Isn't it? Devotees in Karuna Bhavan and elsewhere worldwide, and those who are in temple residents or who can attend temple, the normal schedule would be doing japa from 5:15 to 7. But one cannot say, okay, that is sufficient time, that is good long time for japa. No, time is short, even 2 hours is short for japa, and we have a long way to go. So, also respecting time and how that in our time there should be no separation, as in we have to come to this stage wherein we do not divide time as past, present, and future. So everything is in the moment, and at that moment we are completely absorbed in our practice of Krishna consciousness. On this note, maybe I give you peace. Any question or comment or addition or clarifications or suggestions or corrections?
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki.
Jai.